We're going to do a webinar. My name is Carrie Brock. I'm the Vice President of Sales and Marketing, and I'm just going to speak for a couple of minutes, and then I'm going to hand it over to Katie Wooten, who most of you have probably worked with your interfaces, direct connects, and booking engines over the last few years. Katie's an expert in this area, and she's going to take you through more details on it. Our goal this morning, and for the reason behind these webinars, is to help you save money where you can, be more efficient, save time, eliminate the middleman, and offer you the latest channel management solutions as they become available. You have several options on how to get your reservations. One, of course, is everybody should have a booking engine on their website. Many of you are probably using our booking engine. You also might be using a GDS booking engine. We have the option for you to have a third-party customized booking engine, which you can connect to RoomKey via our API. And there's also a booking engine available through SiteMinder, one of the channel management products that we have. On the GDS side, we have connections available to you through Scepter Windsurfer, TravelClick, iHotelier, Sabre, Synexus. Synexus now owns Generez, Pegasus, InLink, and CohoRes, to name a few. There's probably a couple other ones out there, but those are the main ones that we partner with. We also have channel managers available to you, RateGain and SiteMinder. Those allow you to aggregate all your channels together. And we also have direct connects. This is an area where we feel that hotels should really look to take advantage of this. You may currently be paying transaction fees through your GDS provider to bring those bookings into RoomKey. We have several options and packages available where the rates are either transaction free or it can be bundled into your monthly per room per month rate that you get through RoomKey. And you can talk to anyone on the sales team about that if you'd like to review what the options are for both the booking engines and any of the connections that we're going to talk about. This list continues to expand as there's consolidation, but Expedia, Travelocity, Hotels.com, Booking.com, Priceline, TripConnect, and Jackrabbit are the options that we have available to you. And I'm going to turn this over to Katie to take you through the presentation and go into more details about this. And again, if you want to talk to anybody on the sales team, the 1-800 number is on our website, or you can contact us through sales@RoomKeyPMS.com. Thanks again.
Hi, everyone. Okay, so what I'm going to be going over with you is just basically how our Expedia Quick Connect and our Booking.com Quick Connect function, as well as go over some of our ERES online booking engine and some of the features that it has. So to start off, we'll just to talk about our Expedia Quick Connect. So if you wanted to sign up for Expedia Quick Connect, so the benefit of doing an Expedia Quick Connect is that you cut out the GDS as a middleman. So if you have TravelClick, Synexus, or anything like that right now, basically what you're doing is we are sending information up to Synexus or iHotelier, and then they are sending that information over to Expedia. So in order to kind of cut out the middleman, you could get a quick connect with us so that the information you have in RoomKey, when you update it, it goes directly to Expedia. So it's a little bit faster. When you're setting up your Quick Connect, the way it works is, so you have your list of room types that you offer in Expedia, and we basically correspond them on a 1-to-1 ratio with what you have set up in RoomKey. If you had a run-of-house room set up in Expedia, we wouldn't be able to connect to that because we do not have a run-of-house in RoomKey. But for all your other room types, whatever you have it set up in Expedia, we can map to RoomKey. You don't have to make all your RoomKey room types available on Expedia if you don't want to. It's totally your decision. The way the inventory works is when we map a room type to Expedia, we send up the inventory, the full inventory for that room type to Expedia. So whatever you see on your F12 inventory calendar in RoomKey, that's what you should see in Expedia as your inventory. We don't have a way to limit the inventory that you send to Expedia. We send your full inventory. So if you decide there is a day where you have inventory and you no longer want to sell on Expedia, what you would do is you would just close out your Expedia-related rates in RoomKey. And then by closing them out, you're basically closing out Expedia as well. And then speaking of Expedia rate plans, so again, in Expedia you have various rate plans that you offer. So when you're setting up the Quick Connect, you want to for every rate plan that you offer in Expedia, you're going to have a corresponding rate plan in RoomKey as well. So it has to be a 1-to-1 ratio. So if you're a property that offers guests the option to prepay for their booking, or they pay at the hotel, that's 2 rate plans that you'd have to set up in Expedia. So you'd need an Expedia prepay rate plan and an Expedia hotel collect. And then there's other rate plans that you may offer in Expedia as well, like an Expedia package, corporate, non-refundable. So when you decide to go with your Expedia Quick Connect, we basically guide you and let you know what rate plans you would need to create in RoomKey in order to get the correct mapping between the 2 systems. When you do implement the Quick Connect, any restrictions that you set in RoomKey, so a closure, closed door arrival, or a length of stay restriction, when you put those on your rate plans, those get sent right up to Expedia. If you do make any manual changes in your extranet, if you have the interface, RoomKey will override those manual changes. So the whole point of the interface is that everything is controlled in RoomKey. You don't have to go to your extranet to do anything manually. And then finally, if you do decide to go with an Expedia Quick Connect interface, something to keep in mind when the interface goes live, any reservations that you may have had made in RoomKey, maybe if they were made through TravelClick or Synexus, or if you just manually put them into RoomKey, if any modifications or cancellations get made to those reservations before the interface goes live, the modifications and cancellations will not go through to RoomKey. Well, for any new bookings that have been made through the interface, but not for any reservations that were made prior to. So you'll just get a fax or email notification letting you know about those changes, and you just have to go into RoomKey and manually update them. So for Expedia Quick Connect, just to show you an example, these are some of the rate plans that you might set up in RoomKey in order to connect with Expedia. So again, it all depends on what you've signed up with. So it could be Expedia Corporate. You could have the hotel collect versus prepay for that as well, Expedia package. So again, if you sign up, we will go through, once you activate with the Quick Connect, we can see what rates you have offered, and then we can let you know what you have to build in RoomKey. Another Quick Connect we have is a Booking.com Quick Connect. So it's very similar in the way that Expedia functions. So again, you have your list of room types in Booking.com. So we would help you map, okay, you have 5 room types in Booking.com. Which 5 room types in RoomKey do they correspond with? Again, we send full inventory, so you're not able to limit the inventory that you send up. Again, if you wanted to close out a date, what you do is you close out the rate plan in RoomKey, and then what that does is it closes out the rate in Booking.com, which means you have nothing available for sale. So if the rate's closed, even though you have inventory, can't sell any rooms. For Booking.com, again, the rate plans, it's a 1-to-1 ratio. So for every rate and promotion that you have set up in Booking.com, you would need a corresponding rate plan in RoomKey. All your restrictions, closures, closed to arrival, length of stay, they're all controlled using RoomKey on your rate plans. Once you do activate the Booking.com interface, you'll notice for Expedia, you could go in and do manual changes, even though the interface would override them. But with Booking.com, you'll find you won't have any control on your extranet. You won't be able to do anything, so you have to control everything through RoomKey. And then the same rule applies with modifications and cancellations with Booking.com. So anything that was created in RoomKey before you go live with your Booking.com interface, if you get any modifications or cancellations for those bookings, they won't go through to RoomKey, but you'll get a fax email notification letting you know that you just have to do those changes manually. And then for Booking.com, the rating that you have on the Booking.com website, a lot of that has to do with how far out your rates are programmed. So they always want you to make sure you have rates programmed at least 365 days out. So the further out you have your rates available, the better ranking you'll get with their website. So that's our Booking.com and Expedia Quick Connect interfaces. I should have said this at the beginning, but if you do have any questions, on your webinar panel, you'll see there's a little question section. Please feel free to write in any questions you have in there. And at the end of the webinar, we'll go through the questions. If we don't have time, we'll just send you an email with an answer to all your questions at the end. Okay, so now we'll just move on. Oh, this is just, sorry, an example of just some of the how you might set up your Booking.com rates. So again, here we have like a Booking.com rate. If you have Genius rates at Booking.com, you need to set up your Booking.com Genius rates or a non-refundable maybe. So it's all a 1-to-1 ratio. For every rate that you offer in Booking.com, you have to have one rate in RoomKey as well. Okay, so once you go live with your Quick Connect interfaces with RoomKey, one of the things you'll have to just keep in mind is anytime you add a new rate to Expedia or Booking.com, you have to add a new rate to RoomKey as well. So again, it has to keep on that 1-to-1 ratio so that everything flows into RoomKey properly and all your rates update properly. So if ever you're adding a new rate to your Quick Connect interfaces, what you're going to do is step one is go ahead and create your new rate in your extranet. Okay? Once you create your new rate in your extranet, what's going to happen is step two. Expedia and Booking.com are going to send an email to us in RoomKey support and let us know that you just activated a new rate plan. So at that time, step three will be your responsibility again. You're going to have to create a corresponding rate plan for that new rate in RoomKey. So if you just created a Booking.com Genius 2-night free rate in Booking.com, you want to make sure you set that up in RoomKey as well. Then what will happen is RoomKey support is going to touch base with you once we get that email from Expedia or Booking.com. And we're just going to confirm, okay, what the rate plan in RoomKey goes with this new rate plan that you made in Booking.com or Expedia. We'll confirm what client type you want it to go with, and if a corporate account goes with it as well. So once we have that information, we can map the two systems together, and that way we can then push the rates for the new rate plan up to your extranet. Okay, so if you have a Quick Connect interface or it's something you're thinking of putting in place, just keep this in mind if you're ever adding a new rate. Now we'll just move on to our ERES online booking engine. So we just wanted to go over some of the areas in online booking engine that people might not be familiar with, what it offers, and areas in RoomKey that you have to fill out that correspond with your booking engine. So that's what I'm going to go over right now. It's just some fields in RoomKey that you should fill out because they flow through to your online booking engine. So we'll start off in RoomKey. If you were to go to System Configuration and Room Inventory, you have your Room Types tab. So it's Room Types tab. This is your room types that you offer in RoomKey. Some items in this tab that flow through to the booking engine. So we have Room Type Short Description. So whatever you put in this field right here, that flows directly through as your room type name onto your booking engine. So you want to make sure everything's spelled correctly. You don't really use any abbreviations that guests wouldn't understand. We also have this description field, which is a description of your room type. Again, you want to kind of make it a fluffy description that you can put on your website that everyone will read about that room and want to stay in it. For any room types that you want to offer online, you have to make sure this Web Res Available box is checked. That's kind of one of the steps of making your room types available online, is that box has to be checked. And then we have sort order. And what sort order does, this works for RoomKey and ERES, but it just puts your rooms in the order that you want them to appear. Okay, so this was from RoomKey, and if we flip over to your ERES online booking engine, you can see right here, after I've searched for a room, this is where I see my deluxe king room, and there's my description of my room type. Now, another thing that's found under System Configuration and Room Inventory is an ERES Images tab. And this is where you can upload photos for each of your room types. The photos that you upload, they have to be about 400 by 300 aspect ratio. If you upload them and they're too large, the RoomKey will make you crop them. But if they're too small, they just won't upload at all. So you'll have to just make your image about 400 by 300. We usually recommend having about 2 to 3 photos to upload per room type. People like to see pictures of room types to see what they're staying in. So you can upload as many as you'd like. And once you upload those photos in this eRes images area, again, go back to your eRes online booking engine, you can see the photos will appear right next to the room type. And if I were to click on this, it just enlarges the image and I can flick through all the different images that I have uploaded for that room type. Another area we'll look at is the rates that you're going to be offering on your eRes booking engine. So under System Configuration and Rate Wizard, some of the areas that will translate over to your eRes booking engine, we have Category, which is a rate category, so it groups all the rates under a category together. The rate name is what goes through as the rate plan name on your booking engine. Any rates that you want to make available on eRes, you have to have hotel website selected as a channel. If you do not have hotel website selected, it will not appear on your online booking engine. So that's an important step of creating rates. And then down below here we have our description. So again, this is a description about your rate. So if there's anything in particular, if there's any restrictions that have to do with that rate plan, you want to put that information down there in the description area so guests can read about the rate. So again, this is our rate wizard, and if we flick over, I'm sorry, one more thing I wanted to point out in the rate wizard is the client types tab. So on the main page, on the general tab, again, I said that you have to have the hotel website box checked. Now, if we go to the client types tab, another important step is for the hotel website, under client types, the hotel website channel, you have to have the rate attached to the online booking client type. If the online booking client type is not selected for your hotel website channel, your rate will not appear online. So that's another very important step if you want to get your rates to appear on your online booking engine. So once you've done all that, your rate will appear on your booking engine. So here we've done a search. We can see our rate category is tied to this blue bar at the top. So again, like I said, it groups everything under categories. So I could have several different rates under a category if I wanted, or I could have one category per rate plan. Over here, you can see this is where my rate name is. So the name I had on my rate wizard, this appears down below here as the name of the rate that I'm booking. And then down below is my rate description. So again, it's exactly what I had over in my RoomKey, just translates over to your eRes booking engine. Next thing we'll look at is your policy. So under System Configuration and Policy in RoomKey, that's where you get to set up your policy. So it basically tells the eRes booking engine, you know, do you require a credit card for bookings? Do you require a deposit? What's your cancellation policy? Do you have any kind of policy for modifying the reservations? So when you're in RoomKey, you set up your policy, and what happens is you can select a default for your online booking engine. Okay? So whatever checkbox you have, whatever policy you have this box checked, that'll apply to your eRes online booking engine. Now, if you have multiple policies and they apply to different rate plans, you can attach policies directly to rate plans. And then that policy will apply to a specific rate plan. But if you just have one policy that applies to everything in your hotel, then it's your default that's going to show up. So again, you have to have at least one of your policies selected for the default online booking engine. And then your text below is what's going to appear on the eRes booking engine to let guests know what the policy is at your hotel. So again, if I go to my eRes booking engine, there's two places where your policy appears. So when I'm looking at my room type and rate description, I have my rate and cancellation policy that appears here. And when I've moved on to the next page after I select Book Now, and I've entered all my personal information to make the booking, I have to check this box here that says I have read and agreed with the property policy. And when I do that, what it does is it brings down the policy onto the booking engine. And again, it's just reiterating, reminding the guest what your policy is. So that's another important area that you want to have filled out in RoomKey to make sure the guests know what your policies are. Now, as far as the online booking engine, there may be some areas that you're not very familiar with. There are some features of the booking engine. So we just wanted to review some of those with you to make sure you're maximizing the use of the booking engine. So some of the things we're going to go over are reservation add-ons, online promotions, group online bookings, group coordinator access, travel agent bookings, and corporate bookings. So reservation add-ons. So these are additional services that you can offer your guests during the booking process. So in RoomKey, you have system configuration and guest services. And in guest services, you could have things like pet charges. Maybe you offer bike rentals. So there are different services you can add on to your bookings. So once you have all your guest services created in RoomKey, if you go to System Configuration and Rates, and this is going back to the old Rates module for now, so ideally everyone is using the Rate Wizard right now to create their rates, but to add guest services to your rate plans, you do have to go to the old Rates module just for this time being. So again, under System Configuration and Rates, what you do is you would go ahead and select what room type you're working on. So maybe you only offer a pet fee on certain room types. So you select the room type, and then you need to select your rate. And again, it's going to be your hotel website rate that you're working on. And then down below here, we have an online booking guest services tab, and then a list of all the guest services that you have available in RoomKey. So the ones that you want to make available for guests online to select as possible reservation add-ons, you just put the check mark next to those guest services. And then you select the update button here down below. And then what will happen is if I'm a guest and I go to book this double room, my best available rate, what's going to happen is after I select Book Now, I'm going to get this drop down on my online booking engine, and it's going to show a list of my add-ons. And as a guest, I can go through these add-ons and I can decide which ones do I want to add. And you just basically what they'll do is they'll just put a check mark next to them. And what happens with these add-ons is they'll flow into RoomKey and attach to the booking of guest services. So that's one feature that the online booking engine has. Another one is online booking promotions. So under system configuration, you have online booking promotions. And there's 4 different types of promotions you can set up in RoomKey. So we have discount rate online. Oh, sorry to everyone. I hope everyone can still hear me. We have discount and free guest service promotions. We have combined discount rate and discount or free guest service promotions. And we also have abandonment promotions. So I'll just go over each of those, just kind of explain what they are. I'm not going to review how to set them up, but I'm just going to review the kind of the general concept of them. And then if you choose you decide there's something you want to set up here, we have training documents available online. Okay, so we'll start off with our discount rate promotion. So again, in RoomKey, you go to System Configuration and Online Booking Promotion. And to set up a discount rate promotion, on this main screen, you would just hit Add New, and you'd fill in your discount rate promotion. So for this specific promotion here, I am offering 25% off. So I don't have the is amount checked, so it's 25% off. These are the dates of my promotion, and I've put a description in here as well. Now I can assign what we call a coupon code to this promotion so that you need a special code in order to get it, or I can just make it available to everyone. So making it available to everyone, I don't put in a coupon code. Okay, so after I fill in this main general tab, I pop over to my discounted rates tab, and I've already gone ahead and I've created my special rate plan that goes with this promotion. So then what I do in this tab is I just select that rate plan. So what will happen is as a guest, I go to your online booking engine, And when I go to book, what happens is I get this yellow, the rate appears in this yellow box. So it's an online booking promotion, special promotion for people to book. And it gives the details of my promotion down here. And you can see it shows the original price of the booking and the strike through, and it shows the deal that they're getting. Okay, so this particular promotion, it's a discount on the rate, and I'm making it available to anyone who goes to my booking engine. Okay. Another type of promotion you can do is you can do a discount or a free guest service promotion. Okay, so in this example right here, I'm doing a pet stay free in the month of May. Okay, so when I'm setting this one up, I don't have any kind of dollar amount discount. I've just set up my dates, put in my description. Again, I'm going to make this available to everyone. I'm not associated with a coupon code. And then what I do is I go to this Guest Services tab here. And in the Guest Services tab, that's where I dictate. I select my guest service that applies, and I say, okay, is it free or is it like a specific dollar amount off? So I do that, all of that set up in the Guest Services area. And then what happens is as a guest, I go and I'm booking my room, and when I hit Book Now, my add-ons drop-down shows up, and it says, pet charge, so pets stay free for the month of May. So if I have a pet, I know that, oh, it's going to be staying free for this month. Then our next type of promotion is you can do a combination. You can do a discount rate and either a discounted or free guest service. So again, in this specific promotion, I'm doing a $15 off for you and $5 off for your pet promotion. So you can see again here, I have my 15 is amount. So I have a is amount checked, so it's a dollar amount. And for this specific promotion, I've assigned a coupon code. So that means people have to use a code in order to get this promotion. It's not going to show up to just anyone. So then I go again to my Guest Services tab. And within the Guest Services tab here, I've selected my pet charge guest service, and I've put the $5 off. And then I've done an attached rate, and I've gone and selected the rates that apply to this specific promotion. So again, as a guest, when I go to the online booking engine, this time I have to enter my coupon code, my Love My Pet coupon code, in order to get this special discount. So I select my dates, I put in my coupon code, and when I hit search availability, there's my online booking promotion. So again, highlighted in yellow, shows my $15 off for you and $5 off for your pet. And then when I hit my Book Now button, it's going to show my discount on my pet charge as well. So you can see again, it's $5 off, so it shows the original price was $10, and now it's $5. And it's automatically selected, this add-on, for this reservation because it's specifically tied to this promotion. Okay? And then our last type of promotion that you can set up on the online booking engine is called an abandonment promotion. So for this specific promotion, what it is if there's a guest who is creating a booking and they get to a certain point, you know, they select in the room type, and then they're like, you know what, no, maybe I'm going to keep looking somewhere else. So if they exit out, they go to exit of the booking engine, they're going to get a little message saying like, oh, hey, why don't you stay? We've got a promotion for you. So as far as the setup under system configuration and online booking promotions, we have here, I'm doing a 50% off special, maybe a little extreme for someone who's just leaving. You might do a little bit less. But we have our, I set it up as 15% off. There we go. That sounds better. And for this one, I'm saying, okay, to get this discount, they do have to have a coupon, so they'll have to enter it to get it. And I've checked this box to say abandonment. So by checking this box, it means that it's only going to appear when I'm exiting the online booking engine. Okay? For this specific one, so this is my booking engine here. And you can see I hit the little red X here, and this is the box that will appear. It says, if you stay on this page, we've got a deal for you. Are you sure you want to leave? So you can choose to either leave or stay. If you stay, what the booking engine is going to do is going to put in that promotion for you and give you the discount. Or if you choose to leave, what you can do is you do have the option to get the coupon code emailed to you, so you can use it for a future stay. Okay, so that's an abandonment promotion. And all these promotions, if you want instructions on how to set them up, in RoomKey, if you go to, under your RoomKey help menu, you go to RoomKey Smart Support, and if you just type how to create an online booking promotion, there's going to be some documents that appear that will walk you through the steps of setting up these types of promotions. Now, as far as groups booking online, so for properties who deal with a lot of groups and they want to kind of alleviate some of the work for the reservations department, you can give your groups a code so that they can go onto your online booking engine and they can book their reservations through there. When you're booking a reservation through the online booking engine, it'll only display the rates for the group that you've selected and only the rooms that you have put in block. And when the booking is made, it'll flow into RoomKey. It'll already be attached to the group, and the reservation will be taken out of your block. Okay, now something to note, where again this has to do with the online booking engine. When you're creating your group, you want to make sure you're attaching your hotel website rate, because that's the one that displays online. Okay, so when after you've finished setting up your group, one of the things that is mandatory is the group ID, because the group ID is what is the code that people use to look up their group on the online booking engine. Okay, so after you've created your group, you're just going to select this eRes page button down below, and that's going to open up this screen right here. And what you do is you check the box that says allow access through RoomKey eRes, and that's going to give the group access to book their rooms online. You're going to associate a password to the group, and what it does is we also have a group coordinator feature, and this will basically be the login and password for the group coordinator. You can add a note that is specific to this group. It will appear on their confirmation. And you can also do an attachment that will be sent out with the confirmation with these guests. So say if it's instructions on how to get to your hotel, you could attach it. And then when the confirmation goes out to the guest, this attachment will be on there as well. Okay, so once you've set this up in your group module, when I go to the eRes booking engine and I select the dates for my group and I put in my group code, after I search availability, what's going to happen is only the rooms I've selected for my block and only the rate that I've selected for my block will appear. So you can see all the other dates are saying call because my group dates are the 8th and the 9th. Okay, so when I make this booking, again, it flows into RoomKey and it's going to be automatically associated with the group block. As far as group coordinator access, so again, as I mentioned, you put in the log and the password, or the username is the group ID, and the password's whatever you assign. So once you do that, if you direct a group coordinator to the online booking engine, you'll see at the very top, and I apologize, mine is kind of a darker color up here, but there is a groups link at the top of your eRes online booking engine. And when you click on that groups link, your coordinator is going to have to enter the login and password, or the group ID and the password that you have given them. And once they do, it's going to open this section right here. And what this section does is it has 3 areas. So we have block information. So the group coordinator is able to see their group arrival date, departure date, the contact information we have for the group, and they're also going to be able to see the rooms they have in block. And they can also see what rooms have been picked up so far. So it's a good way for your coordinators to monitor how things are going, and then they could be like, oh, you know what, we sold out of those really fast, maybe I'll add a few more. We also have a reservations area, so the coordinator can actually see who has made their bookings. Really useful for wedding groups. Every bride wants to know who's been booking the rooms, you know, who do they have to get after. So they can see exactly who's made reservations. So that's really useful for a group coordinator. And then again, there's the note and attachment area. So if there's anything extra that the group coordinator wants to have flow through to the reservation confirmations, they can put that here. And again, they have an opportunity to also do an attachment. Okay, so that's the group coordinate area. We now have a travel agent bookings area. And again, when you go to your online booking engine, just up along the top next to the groups is travel agents. And what this area does is it allows a travel agent to register and log in to the eRes booking engine. And it's a way that they can make a booking for your property and make sure that they get their commission. So it's a quick way for them to make bookings for your property. So if there's a travel agent that you like to do business with or you want to do business with, what you would do is you would direct them to your online booking engine. And you'd have them click on the travel agent's link. When they click on the travel agent's link, what's going to happen is this login screen is going to appear. So they have, they can put in their user ID and their password if they already have one. And if they don't, then they just have to click the register button to register. Okay, so when I click the register button, I have this form that appears, and I have to fill in all my travel agent information. And there's this one area where it's going to ask for a confirmation code. And this is how you make sure that only travel agents that you want to work with are registering on the booking engine. So within RoomKey, under System Configuration and Property, you will see there is an IN ID associated with your property name. Okay? It's a 9-digit code, 10-digit code there. You have to give that code to the travel agent in order for them to complete the registration process. So it kind of prevents just anyone from going in and being like, oh, well, I'm going to register myself and I'll get commissions, even though you didn't agree to it. So you have to provide them with that code. So if any travel agent ever calls you and they're like, oh, I'm trying to register and I need this confirmation code, if you decide this is someone you want to work with, this is the number that you would give them. Okay? So once a travel agent has registered and logged in, again, my colors, again, are not the greatest, but at the very, very top here, when I've registered or logged in as a travel agent, it says travel agent logged in, and it says the name of my travel agency. So as a travel agent, I go through and I create the booking for the guest, and the booking flows through into RoomKey. And you can see down below here, it'll have my travel agency already attached. Okay? So then what happens is in the travel agent module in RoomKey, under Operations and Travel Agents, my travel agent gets created. It'll automatically assign a commission amount of 10%. So depending on what you agreed to with this travel agent, you can alter that higher or lower. And then that way, at the end of the month, when you're doing your commission amounts, the reservations that this travel agent has created, their name's already attached to all the bookings, and you can work out their commission. Now for corporate bookings. So if you have corporate accounts that, again, they make lots of bookings with you, and perhaps an easy way is just to give them a corporate code so that they can take that code and they can go online and they can get their corporate rate. Okay, so under Operations and Corporate, you would go ahead and you'd set up your corporate account. And then we have a Web Codes tab. In this Web Codes tab, what you would do is just hit the Insert button below. And then what you do is, now RoomKey would generate an access code, and it's usually numeric, but you can change that to be to really be whatever you want. So I've changed mine to just be Gecko. Okay, so for my Gecko travel agent, my corporate account, if they wanted to book a room, what I would do is I would direct them to the online booking engine, and where it says, do you have a promo code, they could enter their corporate promo code that I've given them. Then when they search for availability, what's here? Now it's any room type in RoomKey, unless you've, if there's a room type you don't want to offer, you just don't program the rate for that room type. So if I only offered king rooms to my guests, I would only program a rate in the king room type. And then you can see here's my corporate rate. So the only rate that's going to show up for this guest is the corporate rate. They would go ahead, they'd book their reservation, and when it flows into RoomKey, it is tied directly to the corporate account. Now, as far as reports and permissions within the ERES online booking engine, some ERES-related reports. So under reports, reservations, you have ERES reservations. So this produces a list of all the reservations created in ERES based on the date that they were created. So if you're looking for all your ERES booking, all the bookings that were made through ERES the past week, you would go to this report, select April 23rd to April 30th, and it would produce a list of all the reservations that were made during that week through ERES. Some permissions in RoomKey that are tied to the online booking engine. So if you have any staff members that you want to be able to like upload photos or set up online booking promotions or anything like that, you would need to make sure that they have these 2 clerk permissions in RoomKey. So again, system configuration and clerks. You select the name of the clerk you're working with and go to the permissions tab. And then under operations permissions, there's 1544 ERES configuration, and under the system configuration permissions, 1554 ERES premium. So if you go to do stuff in RoomKey, if you're like, oh, I want to set up an online booking promotion, and you go to system configuration and you're like, oh, I don't see online booking promotion, then you might not have one of these permissions. So check your permissions, make sure you have both of them, exit out of RoomKey completely, and then log back in, and you should have access to the online booking promotions area now. So as far as the online booking engine and the Quick Connect interfaces, if there's anyone who isn't using these features right now, they don't have, you're interested in a Quick Connect interface or the online booking engine, you just need to contact our sales department, and they will be happy to provide you with any quotes. So I will just take a look here now, see if there's any questions. So again, if you have any questions at all, you can just type them into the little questions area of your webinar chat. Let's see here. So I don't see any questions. Let me just see here. Oh, Eric, I apologize. I think you asked a question, but I cannot seem to have, my question section seems to be hidden. Just one moment, please. There we go. Okay, let's see. To get set up on the booking.com, where do we start? Can we do it all via RoomKey, or do we get the setup with booking.com first? Okay, so booking.com or Expedia. First thing, get yourself set up with a booking.com account or an Expedia account. You have to get that part done first. While you're working on the setup of your booking.com account or Expedia account, contact our sales department. Sign up for an Expedia Quick Connect interface or booking.com Quick Connect interface. Once you have finished your setup with booking.com or Expedia, you will want to let us know. We'll follow up with you. If you've contacted our sales department, we'll follow up with you anyway to see when you're ready to implement. But it's really easy. So once you have your booking.com set up or your Expedia set up, we can walk you through activating within 15-20 minutes. You activate the interface. You can activate the connection yourself. You don't need booking.com or Expedia. You can activate everything yourself through the Extranets. So we'd walk you through those steps. Once you activate the connection, then it kind of falls on us where we do the mapping I was talking about at the very beginning. So we find out what room types you have in Expedia or booking.com. We figure out how they correspond with RoomKey. We look at what rates you set up in your extranet. We see how they correspond with RoomKey. And once we get all that information, we kind of do the mapping. We can typically do it in 1 to 2 days, if not sooner. And that's it. Once we have that done, we just activate your connection. We push up rates and inventory, and you're ready to, you go through and you verify everything looks good, and then we're ready to accept reservations. So it can be a fairly quick process. But again, start to sign up with booking.com Expedia first. Contact our sales department to sign up for an interface. and then we'll help you out from there. Let's see. Is there a way to limit how many promotions are available? We don't have a way to limit the promotions. I mean, you set up what you want to make available. However, if you mean how many you're selling, the rate plans in RoomKey, we do have a nights to sell option, like it's a restriction on the rate plans. So for the ones that have to do with rate plans with discounted rates, you can select a certain number to sell, and then that will limit how many of those get sold. If we have an Expedia account that we enter manually and set up Quick Connect, do the existing reservations link? We have an Expedia account that we enter manually. So if you have an Expedia account now and you're entering all your reservations manually, and then you set up your Quick Connect, no, the existing reservations are not linked. So those reservations that you entered manually before the Quick Connect was activated, if any modifications or cancellations get done to those reservations, nothing will flow through the interface. What will happen instead is there'll be an error message sent back to Expedia Booking.com that those reservations couldn't process, and then they'll send an email or a fax letting you know. So you'll just have to manually modify or cancel those bookings. So when you first start using the interface, you'll probably notice, oh, I'm getting a lot of faxes and emails about modifications and cancellations. But as you use the interface longer, you'll those existing reservations will be checked out, and all you'll have is new ones, and then everything just works properly with the interface. All modifications and cancellations will be going through. Do you have any other questions at all? Oh, we have one more here. Let's see. Expedia has a 5-room allotment for us. If we are sold out on a room type before the minimum allotment is sold, does closing out the rate still stop the room type from being sold? Good question. No. If you have a base allotment set with Expedia, and they are guaranteed those rooms. So even if you are sold out in RoomKey, Expedia still can sell up to their allotment. So you might want to speak to Expedia. I know there's definitely some clients who've had that base allotment removed, so that you're just selling pure inventory, so you don't have to worry about overselling. But if you do have a base allotment sent with Expedia, you most certainly can get oversold if you're sold out, because you've promised Expedia a certain number of rooms, and they'll just keep selling whether you've closed the rate or whether you have no inventory. Okay, any other questions at all? Okay, well, I want to thank everyone for attending. If you do have any other questions about the Quick Connects or the booking engines, you can certainly email support@RoomKeyPMS.com, and we'll be more than happy to answer any of your questions. And again, if you're interested in signing up for a Quick Connect interface,